Hey guys, Liquid here, and welcome to Let's Reminisce about Spider-Man 2. 2 years ago, I did a similar video for Spider-Man 1, that's Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, because it's turned 20 years old, and this year, I believe sometime next month, I'm actually making this a bit early. I believe it's actually next month that Spider-Man 2 turns 20 years old, but I thought I might as well do something because it's been a while since I've actually uploaded anything. So I feel like I owe the fans something, and I was just wanting to make this because I was reminiscing myself. And so our story begins, after Spider-Man 2, after Spider-Man 1 came out. Everything was peaceful, and it was still at the point where I was still very young, and most of my information was coming to me through the adults in my life, and I can't remember exactly how I would have found out about Spider-Man 2. I feel like maybe a teacher told me about it. Like, I feel like at least the teacher would have told me about something because I think I was often wearing, Spider-Man shirts and whatnot, and so like a teacher might have said like, "Hey man, did you hear that there was a Spider-Man 2 or something like that." But as for like specific details, like how I found out about like Doc Ock being in it and whatnot, that's kind of hazy. Um, but in between the time that Spider-Man 2 came out, or in between the time that Spider-Man 1 and 2 came out, is when I started really going on the internet myself. I was only like 8 years old or so, but I did, probably in, so I think this was either late 2020, either late 2003 or early 2004. I was going on the internet, not really doing too much. Like I was really only, because the internet back then, there was no YouTube. It was a very different place. So I was really only really going on maybe like video game. I was going on GameFAQs a lot, looking up walkthroughs, looking up cheat codes and stuff. Maybe playing Flash games. But one day I do remember when the very first trailer for Spider-Man 2 came out. And this is the trailer. I'm not sure what this would entitle. I'm not sure what. You'll know if you look it up on YouTube, you'll know that it's the trailer because it starts off with Aunt May being all, "I believe there's a hero." Like, I'm pretty sure. And I remember when that trailer came out. I was at the computer, slowly watching it. I think I'm skipping over a bunch of stuff because I think at some point I remember there was I think like the very first image of the movie was like a picture of Alfred Molina kind of looking into the like he was kind of facing into the distance but like looking towards the camera. There's like a very, very cool image of him. But eventually, the trailer came out and I was glued in front of the computer trying to watch it because it took upwards to an hour probably to load it. Like it seriously, it was I'm pretty sure this is also where I learned the word buffering from, because it was taking every 2 seconds it would have to buffer or whatever. And so like every like 20 seconds or so I would like go back and I would try to like watch the entire trailer from the beginning, up to where I had buffered up to. And so I'm very, 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 well acquainted, very, very aware of, all the contents of that trailer. And I gotta say, looking back at it though, that trailer really gives the entire movie away. Like it has everything. It has, every single plot arc. Peter giving up being Spider-Man. It has Harry unmasking Spider-Man. Like it has everything. Like it has Like gives the complete everything away. Um, I think like with the Harry thing, they do kind of try to try to throw you off because like it cuts to the Spider-Man logo like right as he takes Spider-Man's mask off, but it's like are you really trying to like get us to believe that some sort of like bait and switch, like there's like a decoy under there, like what are you doing? um and then I remember at some point after that in school we had some sort of assignment. I would have been in third grade, and we had an assignment to like write a letter to another person in class, like asking them questions or something like that. And I remember, I think my partner for the assignment was a kid named Caleb, and he, like I said, people kind of knew that I really like Spider Man, and I would talk to I would probably talk to like friends about it and stuff. Um, and in Caleb's letter to me, he basically asked me. He asked me a bunch of stuff about Spider-Man 2. He asked me like, what does Doc Ock look like and stuff like that. And in my letter back to him, I literally quoted J.J. Jameson, the quote for it, where he says, mad scientist with metal arms welded onto his body. Like I quoted that word for word into my letter to Caleb. And also, in the running up to the movie coming out, there was also, there's the video game coming out, and I was curious, how will the video game be? And I do remember there was like, I think like there's also just like the very first image of Spider-Man 2 was like, this picture of Doc Ock. The very first picture of the game was like, there's this one game, I'm not entirely sure. It's like the camera's kind of adjusted in a weird way. I'll try to maybe find it and show it on screen. Right here it is. I'm not entirely sure like how this image was. I'm curious how this image was created. And credit to Eurogamer. This is I had to Google Spider-Man 2 game first image PS2. I had to like put PS2 on there because Spider-Man 2 just brings up Insomniac's Spider-Man 2. Yeah, here we have this here, which credit to them. This is what the game looks like. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure. Like the camera makes me raise an eyebrow, but this is what the game looks like. And at some point, I had seen that image, and then at some point also I was reading about the game on GameFAQs because it had its own, even before it came out, it had its own GameFAQs page, and back then the GameFAQs forums were fairly active, and at that time I wasn't actually participating in any sort of internet communities, but I was reading a lot of GameFAQs and like just reading message boards, and I was, and so I remember following people's speculations about the game, and I have a specific memory of like I said, because as the news was coming out that the game was going to be open world, like a Grand Theft Auto game almost, um, there was a thread or a comment by someone basically saying something like, will we be able to pick up hookers in the game? And that was my very first time being exposed to the word hooker, and so I unironically then asked my family, "Hey, what's a hooker?" and which gave them a good laugh. And I also remember, this is maybe somewhat of a sidetrack, but also I have a specific memory also on GameFAQs of like, I want to say like GameFAQs had like on the front page they would have like a list of like the top the top trending games, the top most anticipated games or whatever. And I specifically remember one of them being Grand Theft Auto SA, which was my very first time hearing about the game that would later become San Andreas, or like it was probably already called San Andreas, but they just shortened it down just to fit on the page or whatever. But that was my first time ever hearing about it, and I remember just thinking, oh yeah, it's GTSA. And then when it comes to the actual movie coming out, um, so with so yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure this came out. Yeah, this was in June. It would have been I think around June 30th or so. Um, and so I was not in school at the time. On Spider-Man 2 and 3, they came out during the school year. So I had people to talk to and whatnot after seeing it at lunch and whatnot. Um, but this was during summer vacation, and so I just remember my grandfather, who passed away last year, sadly, um, took me to see it. We saw it together. It was some good old fun. And actually, I should actually say also, at the time of recording this, Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, and I believe also Amazing Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, like pretty much all the Spider-Man movies, except maybe the Marvel ones, I'm not entirely sure, were re-released, I think, for Columbia Studios' 100-year anniversary or something like that. But I did not see any of them. Yeah, so I saw Spider-Man 2 with my grandfather, and I don't really have any. I'm not sure if I have anything to comment on seeing the movie itself in the theater, but I think I remember the whole my back scene being kind of funny, perhaps. And then after that, I'm pretty sure right after the movie, we went to Target and saw and got the Spider-Man 2 game, and I really had no idea what I was in store for. I'm pretty sure I had not actually seen any. I'm not sure if I had seen any videos of like gameplay of it, swinging Spider-Man swinging around and whatnot. So it was complete. It was complete. Like I knew that it was some sort of open world, but I really had no idea what I, w- I, I was in store for. And I know I would eventually go on to beat it quite a few times, but I believe that at first it took me a while. Like I remember getting stuck on like certain parts for like weeks on end, like the Mysterio bit. Like always gave me nightmares. Um, yeah, but that kept me satisfied for quite a while. Like even now, like looking back at it, I really do think that game was something special. Like especially in my recent, I say recent, but now it's been several months. But in my Spider-Man 3 Let's Play on PS2, I was lamenting really, just constantly throughout just what how much of a downgrade that game was. Spider-Man 2, like that game was seriously, I cannot say it enough, but especially just for how novel, that whole sort of style of open world game was at the time. Um, it's special. I can't say anything else, but that was a special game. And then eventually, I also got the GBA version, which I also have a let's play of that on my channel, as well as the PS2 version. And I would play the GBA version a bunch, on car rides and whatnot. It's also a fun one. I have the GBA version especially kind of brings back a lot of memories of like where I was playing it. Like I remember, so I had some family that lived like basically like in a trailer park, and I just remember being at the trailer and playing Spider-Man 2. And I can still I could still play back the sound of like Spider-Man punching in that game, like the thwip of the web and the Spider-Man going like the grunt, like it all really it has a place in my head. And I can't remember. I'm trying to think about like my experiences talking to other people about Spider-Man 2, and I want to say like I might have like I want to say because I had seen the trailer for Spider-Man 2, and a lot of other people in the class maybe didn't have access to internet and stuff. I think I remember maybe explaining the trailer to people, like detailing, Spider-Man's climbing on a wall and then he jumps down, or some of that. And I also have a memory of I sat next I would often sit next to a girl named Jordan at lunch, and I had so this was probably in the beginning of fourth grade. This is after summer vacation has ended, and I'm back to school, and I'm at lunch, and I'm talking to Jordan about Spider-Man 2, the game, and because I guess she didn't have it, and I was just explaining all the cool stuff you could do, and I was explaining to her, like I was talking to her about web zipping, how what and when you I think hold press L2 and R2 in Spider-Man 2, you web zip where Spider-Man kind of like jumps up and does the splits and swings, and like I want to say I might have like framed it as like a question for her to try to guess, like guess what happens if you press L2 and R2, and she's like, oh, what? And I was like, Spider-Man jumps up, does the splits and swings. I specifically just that's another memory that I just have in my head for some reason. Other than that, I'm not sure if I have too much memories like from that era about Spider-Man 2. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to just do a quick video, uh, reminiscing about the good old days. And I guess in 3 years I'll do Spider-Man 3 as well, and also hopefully in the near future I will make a video also going over, just like I did before with Spider-Man 1. I would like to make a Spider-Man 2 video talking about the novelization, because I did actually read it last year and took a bunch of notes. But still, it will, it's not, there's the type of thing to, I can't just sit down and record it, I do have to kind of like get prepared, look over the notes, maybe go back to the book and whatnot and verify some stuff. But I would like to make a video talking about that as well, just talking about all the differences, because it was pretty neat. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will hopefully get back to making videos more regularly. And if not, at the very least, I do want to perhaps make a video just kind of talking about all the stuff I'm doing these days, because I'm very I'm busy. I'm just doing a lot of stuff, with work, and I'm not sure if I've actually mentioned it in any videos, but I've also been going to school, doing online classes, and so there is a lot of stuff that eats up my time. But the thing is, I don't want to necessarily use that as an excuse, because I do have free time. I'm making this video, and whatnot, but it's just that I guess oftentimes, between everything, when I do finally get some free time record, I often just kind of want to use it for me time, or either I'm too tired to actually record something, which are excuses really, because like I do kind of fully admit that if I wanted to record something I really could, and so it's just hard to get over the inertia of not really being active for so long. But hopefully in the near future I'll get to doing some stuff. But hope you guys enjoyed. If you were interested, also share your own memories of Spider-Man 2 if you were alive at that time, because knowing the constant flowing of time and whatnot, I wouldn't be surprised if some people watch this, but that think of Spider-Man 2 as some weird ancient thing from before they were born. But hope you enjoyed. Next time, look it out.